It's not that I'm not funny right now. It's just that the effort isn't there. You know, kind of the way your wife washes dishes. You know, she's an adult. She could do it the right way if she wanted to. She sort of just, you know, and then you grab the bowl and you got to, I mean, it looks clean to the naked eye. To someone that actually needs trifocals but hasn't gotten around to getting them, the plate looks clean. But then you go to grab it and you feel the film of whatever was eaten on it the night before. And you just, you know, you curse under your breath. And then there's that voice in your head that goes, you know what, Bill, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And then you're downstairs by yourself, you know, wearing your robe, your freckled milk white calves poking out the bottom, some old slippers you got for free from somebody who used to advertise on your podcast, and somewhere along the line you made them mad. And you wash that dish. As you wash the dish, you look up and you catch your reflection in the window and you see the sadness of what your life has become, and you quietly cry to yourself. Make a couple of soft-cooked eggs, try to lay off the bread, and then she comes downstairs. She sees your eyes are a little puffy, and she says, are you all right? You said, oh, yeah, you know, I just didn't get some sleep last night. And you push it down. You don't communicate it. And then it just sits in there. It doesn't leave. It sits in there. You know, and just waits for the next holiday. Whatever it is. You know, Christmas, trying to put the lights on the tree. Fucking, is the turkey done? Is it not done? Something like that. And then that's when that moment's going to come out. And she's going to be like, where is this coming from? And you're not even going to know, because there's going to be so many other of those moments buried right there in that chest. But it's my belief, if you cry enough at the sink, you can get some of them out. Oh, Jesus. Billy, big day yesterday. I finally did that solo flight up to Santa Barbara. I don't know if I made the radio calls correctly to approach, and then they had me when I departed, they put me on with departure, and I was just on with them. And after a while, I was just kind of like, could I just go to the comment channel? And they were like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like, don't feel like I need you guys anymore. I don't know what the radio call is. Terminating departure, or I don't know what the fuck you're supposed to say. But I said it, and I just sat there like with, you know, one eye closed, like, here it comes. But the guy was cool. He figured it out. So now here's the deal. I know how to go up to Santa Barbara. I know how to, I know the approach to the landing pad. I did it with my instructor, and then this week I did it by myself, a.k.a. soloing. And the first thing I did was, you know, Google places to get coffee and fucking, you know, fun places to take my wife who doesn't value my opinion. Now, here's the deal. Whenever I make fun of my wife to this level, you know that she's gonna have to come on and give you the rebuttal. You know, whatever. What do you want from me? I'm just a man that flew a helicopter to Santa Barbara and back without hurting himself. You know, I did an episode of the Howie Mandel podcast, and he brought up that stuff. And I don't like talking to people who aren't pilots, because all they do is talk about dying. And I was actually out there. I'm going to text him and tell him this. I actually had to block out his voice as I was doing pre-flight. And then I went up and I had a great time. And it was exactly what I wanted. I got out of the LA basin, so there was like nobody up there. And when I got out to the coast, there was this marine layer all the way out over the water. And it got about 100 feet over the land and just disappeared. Because as you know from your ground studies, water has a way more consistent temperature. It takes a lot longer for it to heat up and to cool down. Where land is like a woman. You don't know what it's going to do. Oh my God, she would kill me if I said that. She'd be like, I'm the water, you're the land, you bald psycho. And she'd probably be right. But whatever, land heats up and cools off very quickly. So it was already like noontime, so the temperature was much higher. So what happens, don't you see, is the clouds come over and those air molecules get heated up by the air rising off of the land. The water molecules expand. And at that point, when the water molecules become saturated, that is the dew point, which is the point at which moisture becomes visible, aka a cloud. All right, I'm going to shut up here. It basically heats it up. That's what they mean by burning it off. So I was able to go up the coast, and I had clouds I was above, to the left of me. I had the ground below me, and then on the right, I had mountains. And I was just flying right up that corridor. It was fucking gorgeous. And then when you get to Carpinteria, that's when you call approach. You're 20 miles out. And for whatever reason, Santa Barbara likes you to be on with approach. So that's what I did. I got on with them. And they basically, at that point, they're also watching for other traffic. And then they hand you off to the tower. And it's a little tricky coming in there the first time. You go up the 101, don't you see? And then once you see, there's this little, this little hangar thing. When you see it, the helipads are on the other side, and the altitude I'm flying at, you can't see them. So I'm always like looking for them. I'm like, I know they're not that far. And then once I get a little, just a little bit to the left of that, I'm like, oh my God, there they are. I'm going to do it after all these years of being intimidated. So that was a big deal for me. That was a big deal for me. God damn it, it happened. And guess what I have right now? I have free time. I'm off until the end of July. Knocked out those 4 weekends in a row. As hard as that was with the kids, now I have all this time off with them, and all I'm doing is we've just basically been swimming. And both my son and my daughter can swim now, but like she's just improving the skill. And my son, by watching her, just keeps getting better and better and better. And he is absolutely fearless, which is fun from some things, and then other things, it scares you. And he's repeating everything, so I have to stop cursing because he said the F word the other day. He said "God damn," and my daughter had one of her friends over, and we have this little trampoline that has like a handle on it that you hold on to, and her friend like sat on it and then did like a backwards spin around, like super fast, like she knew how to do it, but I didn't know that. So as her head was whipping around, I was like, oh, I was holding my son and went, Jesus Christ. And my son looks at me and he just goes, gee, Christ. So there's that. So I got that going for me. So I've been practicing in the car, not cursing, and it just blows my mind how I just the F word just when I really pay attention to it, it's the third word every time, or the second. It's either what the or the. The fuck is this guy doing? The fuck is going on here? It's just. Or I go, oh, you stupid fucking. There you go, you fucking. That's what it is. Always. Always goes like that. So I always say the F word now, but then I stop and I go, silly person. I go, what the fucking you? You're a silly person. That's what you are. You're silly. You're wacky. You changed lanes, but you didn't get your whole car in there. So it's still blocking the lane and you're causing a traffic jam and people are beeping at you and you don't understand why, to the point you're giving them the finger as if you're the victim. You're just a silly person. But maybe I can use silly as like a salve for my emotions, as Frank Santarelli would say, S-A-L-V-E, salve. Anyway, I'm going to try to go online and I'm going to try to find some of these goddamn... what am I even talking about? I'm going to try to find the Wimbledon thing. Wimbledon. Is it Wimbledon? Not Wimbledon. Breakfast at Wimbledon. I said my whole life growing up. It was breakfast at Wimbledon. All right, I'm going to look something up here. We're going to look up the last few albums that Mr. BUrr has downloaded. All right? Because I'm enjoying this music. I obviously